In today's video, we take a look at a woman who refuses to sign a prenup, and this woman who says that she shamelessly asks men for money.
I started doing this thing where I just shamelessly ask men for money. Like if they give me any sort of attention that I did not initiate, I'm sending Venmo requests.
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
And I'm telling them yeah, but you can buy my dinner. And the amount of people that have actually sent me money, I feel like we are not securing our bags because we're being humble and we think we don't deserve it. But now there's this dude that I don't even know who he is. He found me on Twitter. He sends me $5 literally every single morning for coffee.
And who's that? Oh, it's Mr. MVP, Simp!
I didn't ask for it. He just started doing it. I told him I was it's gonna cost you to have a conversation with me. Period. It's my favorite thing to wake up to every morning is a Cash App notification.
So basically, you are saying that you have zero respect for yourself and have no issue asking random simps for money, and I really can't fathom how do such men exist. You are not even talking to the girl, and if you think that by doing this she is going to respect you, then you have lost it, as has this woman here who just lost a man because she did not once sign a prenup.
Wait, scoot back. We'll worry about the diamonds later. That signature is more important to me than these diamonds are. You know?
I don't want to sign a prenup. I'm not going to be using you.
You're not going to use me, but I just feel I don't know. It's just you sign a contract when you go to work, right? You sign contracts. It's just a contract for our relationship.
You're not going to make me sign it?
No, it's not about that. I promise you it's not about that. This is about just having foundation and, a goal in life. And I know what I have and,
Okay, but I don't want to sign a prenup because I'm not using you. Okay, give me that ring.
No, you can't have that ring. Stop reaching for it. Seriously, I'm serious about this. Man, if you truly love me, just sign the paper. Stop going back and forth.
Who's making you do this? Your family?
Why does it matter who is making him do this? He is asking you to sign a prenup. Either you sign it or you can leave him for good. But by saying that you are not using him, then thirsting for the ring is something. That says a little bit about your ulterior motives.
Well, I did have a talk with my dad and, just from experience and what he's went through, he told me that it wouldn't be bad for us to do this in our life, in our relationship. So I want to follow behind my parents.
So you're saying that I can just divorce whenever?
See, you need to read it. The thing is, you can't divorce me once we are married. It's for good. It's for good. And if you divorce me, you owe me $50,000. That's what it's gonna be about.
I don't want to marry you.
Why?
Because I'm trying to get some out of it at least.
What? So you plan on getting with me and not bringing nothing to the table? See, this is why I'm doing this right now.
I don't want
for
to
that
sign
reason.
This.
Well, man, it's that or nothing. I guess I'll just have to keep this ring for another rainy day. No.
Hold on, let me see.
I'm sure someone else would love something like this,
Let me see.
No, stop reaching for it. That's more important. Just sign it. That's all you got to do, and we're good. We can go to the courthouse and get married tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow.
What I'm not going to sign this.
Well,
I'd rather find somebody else that can actually provide for me then.
Are you serious? So you want to use somebody. That's why you don't want to sign this paper then.
Why would I sign it?
Don't worry. I'm not going to beg you to do it. My dad told me to be aware. And he also told me if you didn't sign it, that was a red flag. Seriously. He's always right.
So it just got proven that she was just looking to marry him for his money, and that diamond ring also. It was really smart of him to ask his father for advice and go through with that advice as well. Still, you can't really be 100% sure that a prenup is going to protect your financial assets as shown in this clip here.
I've also heard that prenups can get practically thrown out of court. Is that true?
Yeah. So a lot of people's prenups get thrown out in court because you either had them sign it under duress, which happens the most.
What does that mean though?
Under duress means under pressure. So the wedding's today, here's the paperwork, we ain't getting married. That's duress. You can't do it.
But how do they prove that in court if they got married 5, 8, 10, 20 years before that?
Because you signed the date on it. And you know what the date of the marriage is.
Okay.
And so those sorts of things get you thrown out. But the biggest reason that that prenup get thrown out is because you didn't disclose all your assets.
Really?
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know that.
it's so easy to, like, especially if you're trying to move assets into other entities and that sort of thing. So like, yeah. So that's why I tell people, get your affairs in order before you get engaged. Because if you do that, you don't have to disclose. It's just no longer on the table. But like, if you have assets in your name, you get engaged and you're in contemplation of marriage, you now have to disclose what you have before you can move it into a trust, or it would be like you're hiding the assets.
Really? See, I didn't know that.
As she said, you have to get your assets in order before you even get a prenup drawn up, and still, there is a chance that it can still be invalid if the women can prove that she signed it under duress. So for a man, there are not a lot of options apart from either choosing the right girl or staying single, because every man would want to stay away from women like her.
Hi darlings, let's talk about being nearly 30, but definitely being single. If you are new to my page, my TikTok, my name's Zoe, I'm 29 and I'm turning 30 in July. And I am single. I have been single now for 3 years. There was a little something in between, but honestly at this point it doesn't even count. I have kind of done my life a little bit backwards. Around 25 years old, I've been in a really long-term relationship. I bought a house with this guy, totally envisaged being together for the rest of our lives. Literally, when we bought our house, there was a nursery at the end of the road and we talked about sending our theoretical future children there. So this was very serious. But I had like a little bit of a midlife crisis. I think I felt like I was settling down way too early and way too young, and I just hadn't lived my life yet. We broke up. So I did have another relationship after that was very toxic and emotionally abusive. That's another story for another day. We now are where we are now, which is pretty much 3 years single and approaching 30 this summer. Am I a little bit broken? Am I at the point in my life where I've just kind of, I guess, maybe worried myself from being alone and also being burnt, that I just have put up blockers because I just find it easier to be on my own and reduce my likelihood of being hurt? Now, please don't get me wrong. I definitely don't feel positive about being on my own all the time. I actually had an experience at my stepsister's wedding. This was a few years ago, pretty much when I first became single as to where I still am today. And it was when it was the first dance song. And I've never dreaded it more in my life. But the reality was honestly so much worse than I actually thought it would be. Obviously, the couple went onto the dance floor, did their dance, and it gets to that bit where they invite everyone else onto the dance floor. And I'm not even joking. I looked around and every single person was in a couple and it was just me stood at the side. I was actually with like a little kid who was like a cousin of someone else in the family. And she was stood next to me kind of right at the beginning. And I was like, oh, like, let's go and dance together. Like, she was like 4 or something. And even she burst into tears. And I was like, brilliant. I stood there alone, literally burst into tears, and took myself to the bathroom to kind of sort myself out. It's moments like that where kind of like love and relationships and that kind of stuff is really forced in your face that can actually be quite hard. It's a wedding. Like, I expected that, but I don't think I expected it to hurt as much as it did.